My name is Hodges. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. I've had many titles in my life. Some people call me doctor, some people call me chief, commander, president. But the one title that I don't often talk about is survivor of domestic violence. I grew up in a household where my dad was very abusive to my mom. And the sound of a grown man's fist hitting the side of a woman's face will be forever etched onto my head. Remember growing up, me and my younger brother would oftentimes use cucumbers and potatoes. We'd put them on my mom's face to try to take off some of the bruising. And then my mom died when I was 12 years old of severe head trauma. Because oftentimes people think the situation is going to be worse if they leave the person than versus when they stay. You know, and I know for my mom, unfortunately, the only way out of her situation was death. Right. I mean, that was the only way out of her situation, and I don't want that for anybody else. So if someone's watching this, understand that, you know, if you're in this type of relationship, these things are not acceptable, right? And there's this person who's doing this to you. It's not worth giving up your life. It's not worth giving up your quality of life. People can get through some heinous things and survive, but the key is to survive. You know, she would always say that she was going to leave him, but she never did, right? And I mean, there was something that he had over her that I will never understand to this day. And I think a lot of people who are in these same types of relationships where they're being abused, the abuser has such a grip over them that it's hard for them to come out from underneath that. But I think today versus when I was a kid, there's a lot more resources available to people to reach out and get that help to really try to get out of those situations. You know, we all want to protect our kids. I think as human beings, that's something that is innate in our personality, is to want to protect our kids. And we all love our kids. But if you're in a relationship like this, you may not realize it, but your kids are all feeling a sense of helplessness, because who else are they going to turn to if they can't turn to you? So you never know, you know, are you teaching your kid to keep doing what you're doing? Or, you know, is this going to be something to where your kid is unable to engage in relationships in their lives growing up? So it's really difficult, you know, for a kid. So if you really care about your kids and you're doing this, I would strongly suggest you get some help. For me, my mom, you know, never got to see me graduate from high school, never got to see me graduate from college, never got to meet any of her grandkids, either mine or my brother's. And I just want people to really take domestic violence seriously. My dad was not an evil person, but he needed to get help. When my mom died, he carried that grief with him I know he carried it with him to his grave. You don't want to be that person. So my wish and hope is that people really seek help. And that for those of you who are out here, you know, you may have some anger issues and may be involved in domestic violence, don't let your kid's story be my story, right? Go get some help. And for those of you who know someone who's being a victim of domestic violence, intervene, get them some help. Don't let your friend's story be my story. And if you're a woman or a man who is in a situation like this, it may not seem like there's avenues for you to get help, but there are people out there who are willing to get help. Don't let your story, your kid's story, be my story. So get help.